everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video we are going to develop one Android HMI application which is mostly focused on automotive part. Okay, so this is you can think it is good for some developer who is working in framework side or HMI side application. So today what is the agenda of this video? So the agenda of the video is we are going to create one application which is going to listen VHAL signal. Like suppose I can explain this thing by example. Okay, suppose हमारे पास car speed है, we have car speed, okay, and we want to listen in the application. Okay, so how we are going to listen that car speed in our HMI application? So that thing we are going to learn in this tutorial. So before starting the video, I just say if you are automotive developer and you are working on framework and you want to switch in automotive profile, then this video is 100% useful for you. So for this video, I will tell you one example, then we are going to start it. Okay. So like you can think we have different type of property. First you can think like I am just giving one very normal example so everyone will understand. Like we have vehicle speed, we have gear selection. Like suppose we have light, exterior light in the vehicle. Okay, now just think, suppose if we want to listen vehicle speed in our application, then how we are going to listen the vehicle speed in our application? This thing we are going to learn. Now suppose if I want to switch off exterior light, how we can switch off the exterior light? This we are going to learn in this application. It means overall हम क्या लर्न करने जा रहे हैं कि हम कैसे स्पीड को गेट करेंगे, कैसे हम किसी प्रॉपर्टी को सेट करेंगे व्हीकल में. So for that thing already I have posted my code here on GitHub. If anyone wants to see, they can download and they can directly use it. They don't need to think how this thing will work. This thing will 100% work. This is just boilerplate code you can directly use and you can use directly in your application, and this will solve almost 99% of your coding part. Okay, you don't have to worry how this thing will work, not this thing will not work. So this you don't have to worry, you can directly go and see. Okay, now if you think video will take lots of time, and already I have one website here, you can go to blog section and search for VL demo app. This from there you can read, and you can read if you are not interested in the video. Okay, but in video I will explain by code how we are going to develop the application from the scratch. Okay, so now let me go to my Android studio. Okay, so this is the application that whatever I have shown on GitHub, this is the application that I have created. Okay, so before starting this single line of coding, how I did all this thing, I want to explain two things. Okay, first, like we have two type of property. We have one Android property and we have one vendor specific property. Okay, I will show you what is Android property. Okay, so if I go to base property handler, this class, you don't have to worry like what this code is written and what this code is going to do. You don't have to worry. Okay, I will just show you what is Google property. Okay, so if you go here in car property handler class, okay, so you will see we have gear selection. Okay, that we are taking from vehicle property ID, which was packaged inside android.car. So whatever you are seeing here now, info bin, make, model year, info model, fuel capacity, some HVAC related property, vehicle speed, gear selection, all these things are Google property. And what is now, people will ask what is custom property. So vendor specific property is custom property. Like suppose I can give you an example. Like for theft prevention, vendor can create their some custom property. Custom property means like you can see this is some custom property. Exterior, like you can see like vehicle property has some id, name, id, name, id, name, some id. Okay, you can think in the same way. If you see here, custom property also has some name, id, some name, some id. Okay, now next question people will ask, who will, like suppose here you can see. Okay, so this is going to be 100% Gradle application. So in this I am not going to include. I will tell how we are going to work with Gradle application. I am not going to tell how we are going to work with BP application, like with Zoom build system. How we can in next video I will show you how we are going to create same application with Android.bp. Okay, so anyone can ask how from where this like for like see, if you are using Google property, then it's easy. You can directly get it from here. I will tell you from where you will get it. I will tell you. But this class has all the property. Okay. But if you are using custom property, then how I will get this thing? So this is VHAL team responsibility. Okay, who is working on VHAL part, vehicle hardware abstraction layer? They will give you this property, this ID, and this property. Now you will see here you have written in your class. Okay, exterior light constant, something like here you have created exterior light. So we have two options. If your application is directly signed with your platform application, so here what I am thinking, we have basic knowledge of Android, you know how we are going to create application and all these things, you know what is system application, what is privileged application. This thing I am assuming you know. Okay. So if your application was signed with your platform, okay, then if you do like that, it will work. Otherwise, otherwise, second option they will provide you jar, some jar file, and that jar file they will just bind this constant. All this constant was there in that jar file, so you can directly use that thing. Okay, so you don't have to worry from where you get this value. This thing is VL team responsibility. They will give you this name and id, only you have to use this thing. Okay, later on if you are interested, I can also show you how we are going to do the same thing on VL part on C++ side. I will show you, but for now we are focusing only on HMI side. Okay, so this we don't have to worry. Okay, whether they will give jar file or whether they are whether you are using here directly inside this class you are using your constant class, you need to sign in. You have to sign your application with platform key if you are developing from outside of from framework code. Okay, like if your application was not the part of system application or privileged application, then of course, and you are directly installing it, creating some application in Android Studio and you are installing, then your app without signed with platform key your application will not work. Okay, so this thing you have to keep in the mind. Okay, so now already we know what is custom property, what is Android property. So this is custom property that VL team responsibility will give for if you are going to develop this application with Android.bp, maybe this vehicle property ID, whatever the class you are seeing, okay, that was present inside automotive vendor. It was present in this class will present inside vendor folder. Okay, if you go automotive hardware interface, inside that this was present. So you have to change the package name. Like if you see here, uh, when I am using vehicle property ID, so if you see the import here, you will see it was android.car something, and at that time if you are using bp file, okay, in that time zoom build system, here same vehicle property id will come, but this package name change with your vendor. Okay, and then you can use directly like vehicle property id dot custom whatever I have written, s2i exterior work like command, HMI. This is like status command. This is command or this is status. This I will tell you. Like if I have mentioned here CMD, it means this is going to set. Like suppose if I have to switch off the value, if I have to switch off the light, then we are using command value. And suppose if I have to hear some value in our application, like I have to see whether light was switched on or off. I have to just see. So this is a status signal. Okay, is in the same hatchback is there. Okay, now this just I explained theoretical part. Now let me deep dive into the code. Okay, so before using, like if you want to use anything regarding vehicle here, regarding VL, then you need to import Android.car library. Okay, if you want to hear any signal, whether it was custom or whether it was Android property, you need this library. This library is provided by Google. You can download or from framework if you know like Android Google Android code, full platform code. I am not talking about one particular full. From there you can download it. Okay, so already I have pasted it here, and it was also mentioned. If you see here, if you go to the Google here, if you see, if you download this code, you will see already this library was there. If someone has problem from framework, like they don't know how to download, later on I will explain how you can download and do this thing. But currently you can directly use this thing. You can download and you can use it. Okay, now once you download this code, once you download this jar file, you have to put inside lib folder. Once you put inside lib folder, if you see, let me change this to project to Android. Now, sorry, now let me change to Android. Now, if you see here on module app, I have included it. Okay, so हमने इसको include कर दिया है यहाँ. जैसे आप include करोगे, after that you have to click here on sync button. Now you are ready to use your car library. Now you can use any custom or Google property. Now let me explain in the code how you can use it. First, what we will understand, how we can hear the property. Like how we, like suppose some speed is coming, gear selection is coming, how our application is going to listen the property. And second, what we will learn how we are going to set the property. Like suppose if from our application, if I have to switch off the light, how we are going to switch off the light. If suppose if we have to switch on the light, how we are going to switch on the light. Okay, this thing we will learn. So let's focus on first part. Okay, so this is our project structure. We have constant, we have core, we have fragment, handler, interface, receiver, repository, services, view model, demo activity. Okay, so I just want to stop you for 2 minutes. I am just saying, if you reach till this point, please subscribe this channel, because I will provide this quality content. Maybe this is boring because first time you need to see 4 time, 5 time, but this is for some experienced developer. If you are experienced developer, then you can see this video. So please subscribe the video so I can get motivated and I can create more content for you. Okay, and you can if you are interested, you can also mention what topic you want video in automotive, Android, C++, framework, anything you can tell me. I will create video for you. Okay, so this is the first part. We will learn HMI part. Later on I will provide 8 or 9 video where you will see how you are going to create VL code. Okay, like C++ code for this same thing. This is Java or Kotlin, whatever you are comfortable, you can write. I have written in Java. Okay, so already I have mentioned you have included car library in your lib folder, and you have added in your build.grader, and you have synced. So what I assume you are till that point, whatever step I did, you have completed. Okay, now now you have to see two things. Okay, now let me close all the things so you guys will not confuse. So we have to focus on two part, core or handler. These two things just focus now. Later on, fragment, interface, receiver, repository, service, view model. This is normal Android code. Everyone, if you are basic 1 year experience guy, you know all these things. But focus only these two part. Okay. Let me explain what is car property manager. Okay. Let me go to this. So see, already in the comment, if you go, I have mentioned what is the role of this class. Connect to Android Automotive Car API, obtain Car Property Manager, initialize property handler, register VL property, fetch default property value, unregister callback during cleanup. Okay, so maybe people are confused. What I just read the comment. Okay, so so this is the main core class which is going to handle all the things. So this class you can think is the main gateway which is going to do all the thing, whether you have to set the value, whether you have to get the value, whether you have to set light on off, whether you have to get the value like vehicle speed I am getting. This class is the main class. You can think this class is going to play the main role. Okay, now I am just telling you the class by handler. You can think. Now let me explain base property handler. So this class you can think like I have created one abstract class so that, so if you see here, I have implemented car property manager dot car property event callback and ibase property handler. This is the interface I have created. Okay, it has three methods: get default property, register property, unregister property. So this class I will explain it deeply, but just for I am giving you overview. This base property handler class I have created because suppose you can think this class is going to extend base property handler. Why I have created? Anyone can ask question why you have created base property handler class. So I have created because it has some common method. Like if you see here, it has some method like get boolean property, get integer property, get float property. This thing is difficult to understand. Get int property, and this car property handler class you can think like we have multiple classes like handler. Okay, like you can consider like this is speed property handler class. You can consider for an example. Okay, like here I am registering four property. Okay, so you can think these two, you can create one class which is Google property handler. Second, you can create one class custom property handler where you will register these two. Okay, this is custom property, this is Google property. Okay, so you can create two class, but both class need to be extended by base property handler. Okay, till that point I think nothing, there is no any doubt. If you have any doubt, please mention in comment. I will happy to explain you. Okay, now let me explain the car property manager class deeply. Okay, see, so this car property manager class, if you see here, what it is going to do, as I mentioned, it is the main gateway which is going to connect with our car service, which was present in our library, which we have imported in the lib or greater. Okay, or I have added in. So this variable is just for, you can think just it is for logging. I used it. Okay, this is the main variable. You have to remember this is m car property manager. Whatever I have created, this is the main variable which is going to play all the roles. So this is the main variable which is the gateway to communicate with your car service. Okay, now this is ibase property handler. If you see, this is interface ibase property handler. I have created the variable for that. Okay, after that, this is just a static context. So one thing I just want to mention, do not focus on the code quality here because I just created to explain how car service will work with HMI. I am not focusing on the how our coding structure, like whether I follow MVVM correctly or not, or MVI, anything I didn't follow. Okay, this thing you can correct or you can do on your own. I am just explaining about car service, how you're going to set or get the property. Okay, so here I have just some static context. After that, if you see again, I have some this whatever the I am car property manager I have created now, same static instance I have created. Okay, later on I initialize it. Now once if you see here, this car property manager class, as I mentioned, is the main class which is going to do all the thing, whatever you are thinking, everything it will do. Okay. So if you see car property manager class, okay, let me show you. Once this class will be called, this constructor will be called. Okay, in the constructor, what we are doing, we are this this static context, we are assigning the context, because whenever anyone is going to this call this car property manager class, they need to pass context. Okay, so we are initializing them, and after that we are calling connect to car method. Okay, so if you see, like suppose if you want to use anything, like if you want to set or get or do anything with the property, okay, then you need car instance. So first what we do for doing this thing, we will call car dot create car. If you see this create car function, it is returning create car. It is returning car. Okay. It is returning, if you just go here create car, if you see it is returning car object. Okay, if anyone is interested, they can go, this is Google, written by Google, so you can, anyone can go and just check how it was working. And if you feel I will explain, just let me know, I will explain it deeply. Okay, this class also, but this is not our code. Just you have to know, before doing anything, first we have to create car. Okay, so what I did, I have created the car. So this is my car object. And once I get the car object, I have to check whether car was connected or not. Okay, so if you see here, we have different method is connected, is connecting. Okay, so we have different method is there. Disconnect method was there. Okay, so I am just checking whether the car was connected or not. Okay, so once my, because see, there is no use if your car is not connected and you are trying to set some property or get some property, there is no use. Okay, it will not work. Okay, so first I see whether car is connected or not. Now I just call it it's connected. See, if you go here, it's connected, you will see it is returning boolean value. Okay, now if you see here, I am just checking whether car is connected or not. Once car is connected, I am going to pass m this car object as well as its car connected. Okay, and I am calling this method. This method I have created. Now this method you have to understand, because this is the method which is going to do all the thing. If you understand this method, I think you understand 60% of the code, because this method you have to understand in such a way now. This method is linked with these two classes. I will tell you how. So first, this is not required, because if car is connected, then car I just check. There no need to check null, but if you are thinking, it's good practice for checking null. I'm just checking whether car EP object was null or not. If it was not null, I'm going to get the instance of car. I'm going to get the instance of car property manager, whatever I have defined this variable, that I told it is the main variable, which is the gateway of the connecting, which is the main gateway. Okay, so you can see already how I am going. I am just calling m car API client dot get car manager, and here I am just passing car dot property service. Okay, so in this way we can get car property manager, and after this two line you don't have to worry, because this I for actually I don't want to focus too much on coding, like whether style was good or like good architecture and all these things. Okay, I just follow very simple code, so that people will, from like 1 year beginner can understand, and like 10 year or 15 year people can also understand this code. Okay, so that's why I created like this. Otherwise I can follow dagger and lots of things, but I know, like if some beginner will see, it will mind super chala jayega, correct? So once, that's why I follow very minimal standard of coding. Okay, so please don't mention in this comment like coding structure was not good. Okay, now you see I created, I called three methods: generate property handler, register all property id, and get default value from VL. Okay, now anyone will ask, like once this method will be called, once your connect to car will called, we will create car, we will first we will first create the car. We will check whether it was connected or not. If it is connected, we are going to call this thing handle car lifecycle event. Now we get car property manager instance. These two static variable I have assigned this car property manager. Okay. Now I call generate property handler. So if you see here what I am doing, I have created car property handler class. Okay, this class I have created. Okay, as I mentioned, you can create, you can think like this is vehicle property hand, this is speed property handler. You can create multiple like in your code you have multiple handler. Like you can think speed, there is some for lightning we have 10 signal. You can think for like left light, right light, back light, we have different things. Okay, so you can think like one light property handler class was there. Then again you can think like interior light, interior we have backside light, front side light, door side light. So we have, so we can create multiple handler class. Okay, left like exterior light handler, interior light handler, like theft prevention handler, VRU handler, lots of things. Okay, we can create. So whatever handler class we will create, we have to we have to initialize it here, correct? Like this, like suppose if I am creating here like property, instead of this like I have to do light property handler. If I mention cancel, I will not going to add it, but you have to, again what you have to do in the same way, you have to light property, sorry, control, how you have to do, I am just telling you, you have to initialize this generate in generate property handler, and this you again have to do like ibrace property handler dot one. In this way you have to do, correct? Now you understand, like whatever handler you will create, you have to initialize it here. Okay, in generate property handler. Okay, once you initialize this thing, okay, I base property handler with, already I told you I base property is the instance of this interface. Okay, now after that what we are going to do, if you see here method first, like suppose I will tell you why we are going. If you see here like this car property handler, this is the class. Okay, where we are passing car property manager class. Okay, so in the same way, well, if you initialize, we have to pass car property manager. Again we have register all property id function. I will tell you what this function will do, I will explain. Okay, so if you see, so we have like here what we are doing here, first we are generating, it means all the base handler class whatever we have created, car property handler or multiple class, that we need to initialize. After that we have to call register all property item. What it is doing, it is doing same thing. Like if you see here, if you go to base property handler, and if you see here we have function register property handler. Okay, and correct, and if you see here, okay, so if you in base property handler, if you see we have register all property function was there. Okay, so I base property handler dot register property I called. I will tell you why we do write have, why we have written register property. So you have to remember this step. This step you have to follow. After that, get default value from VL. What it will do, I base property handler dot get default property. If you see here base property handler, you will go and search get default. Sorry, just wait. I think this function was get default property, control C, sorry, control Z, control C. I think no, sorry, by mistake I am searching here, because see same class name was there na, that's why I am confused. So if you see here we have get default property function was there. Okay, so what this will do, register from name you are understanding, like suppose if you have 10 signal, like you have gear selection, you have speed, you have multiple things. Okay, why we anyone can ask here me one question, like in car property manager, what we have, like first we, why we are first initializing all our handler, after that why we are registering all property, and then so this is the flow. Like suppose that this is the handler class which is going to register some signal. Okay, like multiple signal, you are not registering in these two class. Okay, you are registering all your signal here. So suppose if you are registering 10 signal, so before using that signal, first you have to initialize your class. Once your class was initialized, then you have to register your property. Once your property was registered, then you can get default value from VL will do. Like suppose if you do gear selection, okay, you just entered in the car, you switch on. So first when your VL will send the signal, it will send you some default value. Every signal has some default value, so that default value you will get. For that it is there, okay. And after that, if you see, there is one function unregister all property ID. What it will do, it will unregister your property. Like suppose same way whatever you are registering, you have to unregister. So now this class you understand. I think there is no any doubt. I have explained, I did my best. What it is the class, we have created one car property manager, we have created one car property manager class. This is my class, and this is the main variable. If you see, this is from android.car.hardware.carPropertyManager. Okay, so this is the main class where this m car property manager is the main gateway variable. Okay, main variable which is going to connect with our car service. Okay, so if you see, first what is our step, first we connect the car. After that we will check whether it was connected or not. Once it was connected, we have created one function handle car life cycle. Here what we do, here we just get the instance of car property manager. As I mentioned, this is the in this way we can get m car API client dot car property manager. Just we are doing casting here. Okay, after that this is just static variable. This we don't need to think why. I will tell you why I have used, but this is not good practice for code, as I mentioned. After that, this is the step. Like this, whatever the handler we have created here, that we need to register. After that we have to call register all property. It means suppose whatever the property we have registered. Okay, if you see here register all property ID, if you go here, whatever property register property, if you show, see, no, it was in base property handler. If you go here and if you see whatever the property is there, already we are going to register it. Okay, now default property, first we have to initialize our handler, then we have to register, and then we have to, we can get the default value from VL. Okay, this is the class. So if you see what we are doing, we are just doing calling register property, get default property. So this is our, this class car property manager, you can think is our main class. Now let's move to base property handler class. Okay, what this base property handler will do. So this base property handler, if you see, it is implementing car properties or car event callback. I will tell you why this event callback I have added. Okay, and it is implementing our interface. So this class is nothing. Like if you see, this class constructor is just taking car property manager. Okay, I am just like, if anyone is going to call this class, then this car property manager class is required in this constructor. After that, it is going to call generate property list. Okay, this is abstract method. If you see, okay, after that if you see in this class, we, this you don't have to worry, because this is just like we are getting the instance of repository. Whatever the repository we are using, like once we get value in something in handler, after that we have to set like we have to show in UI, or we, like from UI we have to set some value to the car property, like we have to switch on or switch off the value. Then for that repository is there, so you don't have to worry about this, you can check the code. Okay, so the same way, like if you see m car unit manager, it is returning, and here m car unit manager I am initializing. Okay, if you remember, here m car unit manager I am using, correct, unit manager instance. If you see here, okay, so if you see here, get car property manager instance. Okay, so this is we are using in repository. I will explain it later. Okay, that already I have explained. Now this, you can think this is currently abstract method. I will tell you what. Now if you see, we have, why here we have used m car property manager. Okay, so if you see, I am initializing this m car property manager with this car property manager. Okay, now what it will do, we have some, as I mentioned, we have register property here. Okay, so if you see here, we have generate property register all property ID. Okay, here we are calling register property from car this class. Okay, so if you go to this property, what it will do, if you go to this class, you will see we have, this is the property list, already we have some array list we have created of integer type. Okay, this is the property list, and if you see here, we are looping it. Okay, and this is the, if you go to register callback, this is, as I mentioned, okay, first we have to initialize this handler. Why we have initialized this handler? Because we need, because if you see here in this, we are here first, we are generating the property list. Okay, like suppose if you have four properties, gear selection, vehicle speed, this thing, then we need to first generate property list. Okay, so generating property list will add this property to this property list. Okay, once this property list will be added, then we have to register it. So this car property manager, whatever I have mentioned, we are calling register callback. In this we are passing callback property, whatever the property we have registered, like speed, vehicle speed, or anything, or property rate. Okay, this thing, these three things you have to pass it for registering. Okay, after the same unregistered, we have, like, we have on array list we put for loop, and this is the method, this is the some default method you have to remember: register callback, unregister callback. So this is the some unregistered property was there. Okay, after that, this is like, suppose some vehicle speed, like some maybe speed is in, like you can think like some proper vehicle speed maybe it is in, not it is in boolean, vehicle speed is not boolean currently, it is not coming in my mind, but some property has boolean value, some property has integer value, some has array type value. Okay, some float value, like you can think like vehicle speed, you can think like it is float, or like gear selection, you can think it is int property. Okay, so whenever you get like get where get vehicle gear selection. Okay, so that is integer, like you will get integer value 1 2 3 4, something like that. It means one means first number gear, second means second number, in this way you can think. So there are some method in the same way getting, we also have some method set int property, set boolean property. Okay, this method I have created. Okay, and set float property. So what here nothing we are doing, we are just calling this inside this whatever this car property manager class, we have set boolean property, set float property, we are calling the method only set int property. So we have created method, and by using m car property manager we are calling it. So here you can see we are passing what, while getting, if you have to get the value, some value, then you have to pass only property id. Okay, or vehicle area type. Okay, property id, like you have to pass vehicle speed. If you say like, okay, give me vehicle current gear selection, so you have to pass property id, it means send current gear selection, and you have to pass area type. What is area type, I will explain you. If you see here, already somewhere I have mentioned what is vehicle area type. Vehicle area type global means property applies to entire vehicle or not, like whether you want to get property for full vehicle, like whole vehicle, or like some side, whether it is for window or whether it is for rear. So if you go here in this class, this is also not our class. So here you can see vehicle area type is 0 2 3 4, which side you want. Okay, now now you understand, okay, what is vehicle area type, and this class you understand. I think everyone understand like what is the role of this class. Okay, so this class role is getting property, setting property, or registering property, or adding. First it will start from adding properties to the array list, then then registering property, then after that getting or setting the property. Okay, like if I have to get some property, I have to get some, I have to set some property. All this method was present in this base property handler that this class is going to use it. Okay, what who all the class which is going to extend it. Now you can see, now this is my car property handler. So this is the main class. After that we are going to be very fast. So in this class, if you see, we have just, it is going to extend base property handler. And just remember one thing, here I have mentioned in base property, I have implemented this callback. Okay, so why I have implemented this callback, I will tell you now. Okay, so now if you see, we have just base property handler class I have extended. After that we have just constructor we called super method. Then if you remember, here we have generate property list, which was abstract, which was like no body. Here body was not there and it was abstract method. Okay, so if you see here, I just here we have overridden the method, and we have just we call property list dot add. Okay, it means suppose here we are adding four signals to Google property and to custom property. We are adding four property. Okay, now once you added the property, after that you can get default property here. Okay, already if you see here in car property manager uh, we have called get default properties automatic. You will get default value. Okay, and you can from here you can send the signal to repo. So now we are understanding how we are getting value from VL. After some time I will also tell you how we will get the value from VL to from app to VL, how you are going to send the value. So now you understand what is this car property handler. So this, if you remember, I told car property this callback. So this callback is responsible for this method on change event. If you go here, you will see this this class is not present here. Okay, anywhere. Okay, it was the part of the library on change event. This is, if you see, this is some interface. Okay, so if you, so this method is going to be the main part where, like, suppose if you get some value from VL now, in this callback will be called. Okay, this callback will be called, and here in this way, like suppose as I mentioned, we have two type of signal. One is command and one is status. So all these two are status signal. You have to know from this thing, and these two are custom signals. So from custom signal now we have mentioned by naming convention command status. Command means app will set value to VL, and status means we will get some value from VL and we will observe it. Okay, like light off we have to do from application, that is command signal. And like suppose a vehicle speed we are getting, it is status signal. Okay, so here you can see just I have registered two property, a status property, because command we will not receive the value, status we receive. So for same as I mentioned, this class has get int property method, car property. If you go here, get int property was there. We just get int property. It will need this. You have to only pass. If you see, as I mentioned, get int property. You have to pass only property ID. So if you see, if you just go to external this, so this is the property ID. But you have to don't have to pass directly. This you have to pass by this name, it will go. Okay, so in this way you go. And in the same way, like if you are going to current selection, get int property. If you do vehicle property id dot gear selection, you will get the current gear selection. And from here if you see now we get the value till handler. Now if you go to send gear selection to repo, from here I am sending to repository, this repository. Okay, if you go to send gear signal, you are seeing only this class don't have anything. Like as I mentioned, like here I mentioned 0 1 2, it means like every, like suppose you are getting 0 1 2 3 4, it means like maybe 0 has default gear, 1 means first number gear, second means second number gear, maybe some value it will be there. Okay, in the same way, so this class is has nothing. If you see here, we have just repository and we are just getting the instance of that repository. And we have created two mutable live data, one for gear selection and one for VRU. Okay, this naming convention is not correct. You don't need to worry. Okay, this I think this is for lighting, because if you see here, this is for work light. Okay, so here I am using work light, so this signal is for work light. But I mentioned here like vehicle side vulnerable road user. Okay, so this you can change it according to your naming convention you can follow. So but you understand, like this is here we are setting the value, and for setting you have also, like if you see, we have one set value and we have one get value for the same mutable data for same send signal. And this is get signal. This function we will see it later, set VM signal we will set it later. Okay, after that nothing is there. Then again if you go to view model, then you will see we don't have anything. We have just repository and we are just getting, we have the live data and we are just observing the signal. Observe gear selection, observe signal. This thing we will set later. Set value, don't need to care, I will explain later. So this here, and after that I have created one demo activity, and for speed I have added some permission that need to, just you can see here, in activity I am just changing the fragment. Once my fragment will be called, here I am not doing, here I have two text view. One is for uh, one is for whatever value I am getting from VL, that for showing, and second I have text view for, like, when if you click on that text view, it will set some value to VL. Okay, so here VL view model, what I did, this VL view model I have, if you see here view model, I just initialize this view model, I get the instance. After that, once I get the instance, this is just normal. I told, like, I am not going to explain this on life cycle and all these things. So in this function, if you see, we have like nothing. On create view is there. Once on create, on start will call it, it will call observe blind spot view model, and it is going to observe this too. Okay, observe signal. There you can see, like, I am just printing the value to the text view. I am just setting the text, so it will, on the text view you will see this value. And same for observe gear selection, I am not called, but you can call it from here, same place. Like here you can call observe gear selection for view model. So what will happen, like if any gear selection will happen, again it will print, and it will, here it will, like in the text view it will set. Now first part we will understand, like how we'll receive value from VHAL, and we will show from, like, we will get from car property manager to UI, how we show. Now from UI, like from button, if you have to press and you have to set some value to VL, how it will set. So it is very easy. What it will do, so if you see, I have one button, send text. Okay, send text, send txt button, which is going to send some value, like which is going to switch on or off the light. I am telling you the example how. So I have created one variable. Initially it was 0. If you see here, it initially it was 0. So once it was 0, what I am doing in view model, I am setting value 0, and this state check we are making 1. It means, like, if user will click on next time, it will go here and it will set value 1. It means you can think 3 is on and 1 is off. In this way I am doing. Okay. If you have more condition, you can add more condition. Okay. Now if you go to here set value, what you, we are understanding second part. From application, we are, how we are going to set signal, like how we are setting the command, whatever we told na. If for command value, we will not get any value. For command we have to set the value. So how we are going to set the VL part. Okay, so that I am going to explain you. So here if you see, from here I call just set value, and this value we are getting from fragment. Again, this is going to call repository set VM signal. VM is set view model signal. Okay, so if you see here, why, if you see a set view model signal, I called one function get car property handler instance. So this, as I mentioned, I created two static instance. For that I have created, if you see here, I need a car property handler, because this class car property handler, if you see, this class need car property manager. Okay, so if I go to repository. Okay, so here get this will return car property handler. Okay, this class it will return it. Okay, so this we will get the instance from this, we will get the instance of the car property handler. And once we get the car property handler, from here send VM signal, I am calling set car property handler dot set signal value. And if you see here set signal value, what I am doing, I am calling set int property. In the same way, if your value is set float, you can set float value, and here you are passing signal name and value. Signal value, like you are passing signal, uh, signal name or value. Okay, name not, I signal value, and also its value. I will, you will understand what is this. So if you go here, sorry, property ID and value. Okay, what property ID, like suppose I have to set it for this one, I have to set it for custom I2S exterior work light vehicle, sorry, custom S2I exterior work light command HMI. Okay, it means suppose I have to some switch on or switch off the light. Okay, for in that scenario, if you go here, so I have to pass custom property ID, whatever the property ID is there, and its value. Okay, like whether it is switch on or off, whatever we are getting from fragment, that we will call. So set int property will do this thing. So this method was already done. So now we understand how we do set or get part. Now people, now anyone can ask question, how car property manager class is going to start. So if you see, we have one receiver class, boot complete receiver. So if you see, this boot complete receiver class will be called once boot will receive. Once boot will receive, what will happen? It is going to start one service. Okay, this service is car property service manager class. Okay, so once device will up, your boot complete receiver will be called, and this is going to start your service, this service. And this service is going to start your car property manager class. Now you understand. So if you see here, this is normal service. Here I have created car property manager class. This binder object I just have created, like whether it can bind with other component like activity fragment, anything. Okay, if it is needed. After that, if you see here, car property dot new car property manager class. Okay, here, if you see, once is on create will called, this context I have taken, this will application, this thing people will know, car property manager. So if it will called, then automatic connect to car will called, then once connect to car will called, whatever the here you have registered, like one car in car property handler, whatever the property, it will call handle car life cycle event, and whatever property everything you have registered, it will register from here, and it will work like a charm. So in this way it will, and here we use statistically, like if service gets scaled, automatically it will be started, because this is very crucial service, it never stopped. Okay, and this is the some binder, here we are binder, we are returning binder object is simple. And here, and see, if one service gets destroyed, we are unregistering the property id. People can ask like, from where we are calling unregistered property id. Okay, and this class I have created a static class, because like if, as I mentioned, like if some um, activity or something, they wants to bind or take the data at that time, they will use it. Okay, and every time new instance will not be created. Okay, so overall, I don't know first time you will understand full or not, but if you just download the code, whatever I explained, just see once and see video 2 or 3 times, 100% you will be confident more on this code. And till that point, if you have watched this video, please follow and subscribe this channel, so that I will be motivated and I can create more videos for you. Thank you for everyone for watching this video.